As a comedian growing up, you had to do so many horrible shows where 3 people were in attendance, 1 person, whatever, 10 people, and it didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't standing up, laughing. They're not giving you standing ovations. They're booing, whatever it is. How do you get to the point where you show up day in, day out, every night to these places if you're not being liked or likable and no one's giving you reassurance that you're actually any good in the beginning?
I think that for me, uh, the the best thing is this. It's like, look, I understand that everybody's not gonna like you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Everybody's not gonna like you. And there was one moment where I felt like everybody was supposed to. I felt like
Really?
everybody is supposed to like me, man. I'm a nice guy. I'm a lovable, nice guy. Why wouldn't you like me? What I found, I was like, look, everybody's not gonna like you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't change that. You can't control that. So it's my job to be happy with my attempt and what it is that I'm trying to do. That's my job. So, as you're going to perform at said shithole or said small environment,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that each one of those opportunities was a way for me to work on me, my craft. And I'm supposed to take something out of that moment that's good, whether it's 2 laughs, whether it's 20, whether it's 100. I have to take something away from this experience and basically hold on to it and improve off of that.
Yeah.
If I go do these things and everything about these things are always bad, well, that means that I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
They can't always be bad. There has to be something good that's coming out of it. I'm not searching for it. So I found a way to search for the good. I found a way to search for, the positive side of my experiences.
Yeah.
Whether they're good or bad, there's a way to search for the good shit. And as I continue to do that, I developed a high level of shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
But
that's not easy to do when you're, a foot shorter than all the comedians out there. There's no one that's, people are just doubting you. You were talking about in your book how you can't even get an audition in the early days to the movie side of things. How do you increase confidence in yourself when there's just no?
Well, because everybody's story is different. Everybody's story is different. And what I find is that it takes time for everyone. For everyone. Nobody, even the easiest road is still met with some degrees of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, you're going to go into some degree of difficulty. For example, I'm watching, the Jordan documentary.
Oh man, Last Dance. It's amazing. Did you finish it?
Right? I'm gonna tell you what I realized from the Jordan documentary.
Wow.
It's so dope, so amazing. You wanna know who I've been actually in awe of since watching this? Steve Kerr.
Oh man, the last 2 episodes with him, he's unbelievable.
Steve Kerr, people don't even realize this. Steve Kerr is sitting on 8 championships.
Machine.
8 championships. Listen, 4 with the Bulls, 1 with the Spurs, and he has 3 with the Warriors. But in between all of that, what seems like an easy road, a great road, you find out that Steve got punched in the face by Michael Jordan. And you find out that there was these bumps along the way that you would have never known. From the outside, you would have never known that Mike challenged Steve and the pressure that Steve felt when he was on his franchise to do certain thing, and I didn't have the athleticism. If I got past the ball, I had to hit the shot.
You only had 5 shots a game, all that, yeah.
5 shots a game, but if I missed any of those shots, the ball wasn't coming my way anymore. So I had to make sure. You would have never known. You would have never known. I say that to say and use it as an example for there are no easy roads.
Yeah.
So when I was coming up and I'm not getting the auditions, or I'm not getting the opportunities, I had to say to myself, it's going to come. If I put the work in, it has no choice but to come. Now, as I'm saying that and doing that, I'm looking around. There's certain comedians that were doing the same stuff over and over again for years on years on years. Certain comedians that felt comfortable with just making whatever the money was. It wasn't about the money, it was about the craft. So I knew that if I got better at the craft, that I would eventually get to the money. And that's what my focus was. Granted, I'm a part of a very small percentage, and you have to attach some luck to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the hard work with the luck is an amazing collaboration.
Yeah.
So it ended up paying off, but I knew what I had to do. So there were no other options. I didn't have other baskets with eggs in it. This was it.
There's no
Nothing else.
backup plan, no backup plan. So you weren't thinking of like, oh, I'm going to go to a job here. This is the only thing I've got.
No, no.
Now, when you were getting, booed at and it wasn't going your way for years, was it your mom that you come back to and say, well, I still believe in you. You're funny. You've got this. Did you have a group of friends that would actually encourage you, or were they kind of saying, what are you doing this for? Go get a real job.
There were no other options, right? And there was nobody to really lean on because nobody saw the gold in comedy.
Mm,
You know, when you're trying to you tell your friends or your family members that you're doing stand-up comedy, it's not like
there's no money. Yeah.
you're about to be a millionaire. You're gonna make it all. Nobody says that. They're like, what? You tell them
Yeah.
fucking jokes. Good luck with that, buddy. Nobody sees
Huh.
the light at the end of that tunnel. So that's a vision that you have
Wow.
and that you have to hone in on because nobody else has that.
How did you see that this is something you can make potentially a lot of money with, or enough to live?
I loved it.
Mm,
I loved it, and there were people who did. So there's obviously a world of revenue that funnels through comedy. Why do all these comedy clubs all over exist?
hmm
Why do these colleges book comedians every year and the colleges have to spend a certain amount of money on entertainment? Why are comedians the ones that are best suitable for hosting jobs,
Mm,
personality driven jobs, etc.? Radio personalities. There's so many doors that get open.
talk shows, yeah.
Yeah, from the world of comedy. So when you look at that and you realize that, it's just about figuring out how to get there.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. How do you
Yeah.
get there? How do you go down that road? What are the goals? What are the accomplishments that are baby accomplishments, but that become bigger? The first one is getting into the comedy clubs. If I can get into the comedy clubs, that's major. Now I'm a working comedian and I'm working. Am I a regular host? Am I the comedy club's feature? All right, that's here. So now how do I work on being a headliner? Let me
Mm,
get some material so that way when I do get the opportunity, I'm ready.
yeah.
Oh wait, but how do people come see me? I gotta figure that out. Shit, I'm gonna start doing what? I gotta get my likeliness up at the time.
hmm
These are all little hills that you have to climb, but after climbing them, they pay off.
Do you think it was harder for you to learn how to be a great comedian or learn about the business of building your personal brands, your audience, selling tickets, marketing, sales, packaging, positioning? Which one was harder?
Becoming a good comedian is definitely the hardest. Comedy doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
The most talented. You still got to learn how to be a comedian. You still have to learn how to tell a joke. You still got to know the beginning, middle, and end, a punchline, a segue, a set. You still have to do all those things. So, we're in one of the most critiqued professions in the world. If you're not funny, boo you. Boo. It's the easiest shit in the world. Boo. It's the easiest shit to do in the world. That takes a lot of skill and craftsmanship to to be a good comedian.
hmm
So honing in on that craft and perfecting that craft or doing your best attempt to, that's a job within itself. Making people laugh is easy if you're funny, naturally funny, but being comedian is a different ball game.
Mm. I've got kind of a personal question for you I want to ask you about. I don't have kids. I've got a girlfriend, just moved in a few months ago. Um, I'm curious, and I ask this to a lot of successful men out there in the world. I'm
Mhm.
curious, do you think that you'd be able to build the empire you have as a single man with essentially, quote unquote, more time to go out and do the things you want to do, master your craft, build your business? Or do you believe that having a great family, a great wife is the key to part of your success and growth as well?
I think that you definitely need that. You know, you have to understand the amazing benefit that goes within a strong woman in your corner. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. You know, can you be single and have success? Of course, there's several people out there that do. Um, can you also not be focused?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know, the world of fun is never ending if you
Mm-hmm.
want it to be. Every night can be a fantastic night, but every morning can be a rough, groggy one, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And that's what the single life, that's the attraction. It's just freedom. And there's an amazing reward that comes within that. Um, but for me, I don't want that. I wouldn't be good with that. And I don't think that the level of success that I've reached, I would have been able to reach a
Really?
with a crazy amount of freedom. Now, granted, fucking human. There's nobody that's gonna get thrown a curveball of success, fame, money, popularity, and not fall victim to any of the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
You eventually will. You will. It's no way around it, especially if you're younger. You will. And after you fall victim to whatever consequences, and there's so many different variations of them, you know, consequences can be spending money and you know, not realizing the things that came with making money and blowing that load. It could be drugs. It could be being mean and ignorant to people. It could be infidelity. It could be, you know, there's so many different things, you know, kids all over. There's so many fucking different things that can act as a consequence,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to the, I guess you could say, the freedom and opportunities that come because of your freedom with success.
Yeah.
I personally, I needed the gotta get home, gotta be home, can't do. Did that stop me from being a dickhead in a couple places? No. You know, did I learn from my mistakes? Of course. Are they mistakes that I would take back if I could? No, I wouldn't,
Mm.
because I wouldn't be able to understand at the level that I do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So without those fucking mistakes and hard punches in the stomach of reality of life, then you don't have any space to grow. You don't have a fucking lesson to learn. So I can't say that I would have been able to achieve.
Mm.
Because you also need that, you need the security of an environment that's a good environment and not an environment created off of what you have,
Mm-hmm.
who you are.
Right.
And if you're engulfed in that world, you know,
Temptation left and right.
and how much of it is for you as an individual and as a good person,
Mm-hmm.
and how much of it is influenced by the world that you're in and what you have.
Yeah, I love what you said here. And earlier you talked about the expectation that people have as human beings is so great right now. It's so high that
Mhm.
the world is judging everyone who has any influence to be perfect on every level of every word they say, action they take. And yet what I'm hearing you say is you need to fail. You need to make mistakes. You need to be an idiot sometimes so you have perspective. And it sounds like for the next decade, too, maybe more, you're going to make a lot more mistakes.
I mean,
Maybe.
you don't know what you're gonna do. Like that's the fucking amazing thing about life. Like that's literally the amazing thing about life. You have no idea. It's your job to try to do your best to grow and to set up whatever you can for those around you.
Mm,
And if you don't have people around you, then you're living for yourself. But it's your job to do the best that you can in doing that.
yeah.
Along the way, you're gonna make mistakes. Here's the shit that is so simplistic that people just don't get.
Mm.
Who do you think plans to go to fucking jail? Who?
No one.
What bank robber do you think ever put the plan together to rob a bank to get caught after?
Not many.
Who? You don't think they all think that they're going to be the ones to get away?
Right.
Yeah. You don't think that in their mind this is going to be a life-changing moment? You don't think that people that overdose on drugs think that there's no shot that it can happen to them?
Mm.
You don't think that there's actual mistakes that happen within bad decision making? There is. You don't think that the person that bungee jumped thought that this would come back up? You think that person knew it would snap?
Mm.
These are all just fucking examples that I'm pulling out my ass. But these are all fucking examples.
Yeah.
You know, my little girl, my daughter, she went to go pet a dog and the dog started growling and barking real crazy. My daughter ain't went to go pet a dog since. You think that she thought in her mind that this dog is nice because all dogs are supposed to be nice? It's not until you see that they're not that you know that they're not.
Mm.
So I say all that to say you have to experience some down to know why you're getting up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the whole thing of a cancel culture and the consequences being so severe for so many, it's fucking ridiculous. Do I think that there should be consequences for people's actions? Absolutely. Absolutely. But are you telling me that you should never be able to recover from a mistake? Then why the fuck do people go to jail?
Right.
Aren't you supposed to go to jail
To learn.
to learn from your fucking mistakes so you can get out and then do better?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this whole reform thing is. It's like you send me to jail to go do better and get better, and then I come out, and because I was in jail, nobody wants to allow me to get better. It's a backwards thing. So
Yeah.
are we teaching lessons or not? Do we want people to improve or do we not?
Right.
What are we saying?
How do you, yeah. How do you personally handle the emotional side or the weight or the pressure of media or whatever, just the online internet world, or potential sponsors or brands or shows? They're saying like, oh, you're in the middle of some adversity right now or some controversy. How do you personally deal with the emotional weight to not let it affect you? Because it seems like you just continue to thrive no matter what mistake you make here or there.
Well, there is no pressure. And here's what I mean when I say there's no pressure. Okay? If you make a bed, lay in your bed. Bottom line, you made it, lay in it. Okay? So in laying in that bed, whatever comes with it is what you're willing to take because you made it. Right now, yes, I have to maneuver differently. Yes, I have to make sure I carry myself in a certain way. I'm a CEO, I'm a brand, I'm a business, and there's a lot of layers that go underneath the machine that runs the world of Kevin Hart now. There's a lot of people that are involved in that world. So I don't have the fuck it attitude, but I do have an attitude of I've done my share of shit, and in doing it, I've addressed it, and in addressing it, I made my share of mistakes within addressing it, learn from that too. I've done all of that. None of this stuff has affected the character that I have. None of it has affected me to start to doubt me. I know
Really?
who I
You
am.
never doubt yourself after all this
Never
stuff.
doubt.
Wow.
I know who I am. I know what I am. And in knowing what I am and who I am, you can go look in the mirror and go, "Oh, that was a dumb move. Oh, you're a jackass." But I'm not a bad person.
Mm,
So within my relationships and partnerships, I think that I've done a good job of letting, them all know who I am, and they see who I am. And we have a really good relationship. So in the future moving forward, I have a job to do to protect those relationships because I care about them. I value them.
right.
So I can't just move willy-nilly, because that means that I'm not staying true to my relationships. And that's what, the older you get and the more you experience things, you learn.
Hmm.
Not just about you. It's about others that can be affected by what you do. So
Hmm.
now I see that, I understand that. The younger version of me didn't see that or understand that. And there was a high level of, fuck it, man. Look, I'm not gonna deal with this because this ain't got shit to do with this or not. And that's not the right attitude. But if I didn't have the wrong attitude when I had it then, and if I didn't understand what I know now, I wouldn't be prepared for this next wave of shit that may be coming my way or may not.
Right.
But if it does, I'm prepared for it now. I'm at least prepared. I'm in a different space of understanding. I'm in a different space of knowledge.
Hmm. It's almost like going back to the Last Dance. Jordan was talking about the, when he had to go through all of it publicly, how much that took a toll on him at first, but then it gave him the experience for the future and for his friends when they went through scandals and stuff to be able to be a leader in that situation and have more knowledge. And it sounds like you're in that situation right now. I'm curious about your wife. I asked this, The Rock did a live about a month ago on his Instagram, and I asked a question on there, and he answered it. And it was a really powerful response. And I'm curious what yours is to this question. The question is, what is the thing you admire the most about your wife that most people don't know about?
Strongest person in the world. Strongest person in the world. And her her understanding for reality versus false reality
Hmm.
is so crystal clear. You know, it's a tough seat to sit in, um, being my wife.
Mm.
It's a tough seat to sit in. We're it's crazy to say this, but there's this there's this movie that people love to watch, and it's called The Rise and Fall.
Mm.
And the tickets to the rise are sold out. But the tickets to see what a fall looks like, I mean, you're talking about a sellout on top of a sellout. I mean, it's the most watched thing ever. So naturally, when you get to a certain space or a certain level, I don't know why, but there's a root against. And she experienced a lot of that, a lot of that turmoil that we went through. It's, girl, don't be with no man that's gonna disrespect you, or don't do this or don't do that.
It's almost like a lot of people are against her for, yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. And the one thing we had to talk, and the one thing that I told my wife, I said, whatever you do, I'm here I'm going to be supportive of, whatever you do. If you decide that you want to go and leave, then honey, by all means, no matter what, she's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you're the mother of my child. My ex-wife now, we're not together, but she's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Mother of my kids. I'm not a bad person.
If you're looking for more greatness in your life, make sure to check out this video right here. And also check out our free PDF, The 3 Secrets to Unlock the Power of Your Mind to help you change your life. Download it right here.
But if it goes through the lens of who I am as this past story, this limitation, this person that tried to achieve it and failed,